Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're taking a deep breath and plunging right into the bedrock of human biology.
We really are.
We've put together what feels like a masterclass from a whole stack of foundational sources on human anatomy and physiology.
Exactly. And the mission here is to build a really comprehensive summary, moving from the ground up.
So from the very language we use to describe the body all the way to its outer shield.
That's the plan. And for anyone serious about the medical or life sciences, you just have to grasp that inseparable link between structure and function.
Anatomy and physiology.
Right. One is meaningless without the other. You can't understand the how without the what, and vice versa. It's all about appreciating the body as this incredibly complicated machine.
Okay, so let's unpack this. We have to start with the language, right?
Yeah.
If the body is a map, we need some universal coordinates.
It's the only way. Otherwise, describing a medical issue would be impossible. Everything is just, near the middle or on the side? It's not precise.
It's like learning a new language.
It is. But the good news is that anatomical terminology is, it's highly logical. It's built on pairs.
Oh, that's a good study tip.
It is. You learn one term, you immediately know its opposite. It really helps with memorization.
Okay, so give us the absolute essentials, the ones you have to internalize first.
All right, let's start with front versus back. We use anterior or sometimes ventral for the front surface.
Okay.
And its opposite is posterior or dorsal for the back. A good example is with muscles. Your biceps are anterior on your upper arm, and the triceps are posterior.
Got it. Front and back, what about up and down?
That's superior, meaning closer to the head, and inferior, meaning closer to the feet. Simple vertical placement.
That makes sense. And what about moving from the center of the body outwards?
That's where medial and lateral come in. Medial is closer to the body's imaginary midline. Lateral is further away.
So that's crucial for, say, describing organs in the torso.
Exactly. And for the limbs, since they stick out, we need slightly different terms. We use proximal, which means closer to the trunk.
Like your shoulder is proximal to your elbow.
Perfect. And distal means further away. Your fingers are distal to your wrist.
And I find the distinction between superficial and deep really interesting because it seems like it's all relative.
It is, entirely. Superficial means closer to the body's surface, the skin, basically. Deep means further inside. A skin burn is superficial. A compound fracture is deep. It gives us that sense of layering.
Incredible precision. Okay, once we have the directions down, we have to visualize how we actually, slice the body for study, the anatomical planes.
Yes, this is where it all comes together for imaging. There are three main planes. The first is the median or sagittal plane.
That's a vertical cut.
A vertical cut, dividing the body into right and left sections.
And what if you want to see the organs from the front?
You need the frontal or coronal plane. Imagine a slice that separates the body into an anterior or front section and a posterior or rear section.
Okay.
And the last one is the transverse plane. That's a horizontal cut, dividing the body into a top or superior part and a bottom inferior part.
And mastering those three is, it's foundational for reading any medical image. An MRI, a CT scan.
They all use those exact references, and inside those sections are our body cavities, which are there to protect all the internal machinery.
The hard shells and the soft shells.
A good way to think of it. We have two main groups. First, the dorsal body cavity. It's in the back.
And that's subdivided, right?
It is. Into the cranial cavity, which houses the brain, and the spinal cavity for the spinal cord. It's the armor for our central nervous system.
And the ventral cavity contains pretty much everything else.
Correct. The ventral body cavity is much larger, and it's partitioned by the diaphragm. Above it, you have the thoracic cavity, heart, and lungs.
And below?
Is the abdominopelvic cavity. That's where you'll find the stomach, liver, intestines, and then down in the pelvic part, the bladder and reproductive organs. Clear, unambiguous partitions.
Amazing. Okay, so now let's move from that huge macroscopic map to the microscopic universe inside, the organizational hierarchy.
It's incredible when you think about it. The body is built on 5 ascending levels of complexity. It all starts at the chemical level.
Atoms and molecules.
Just atoms and molecules, like water, HO. From there, they combine to form the second level, the cellular level. And the cell is the fundamental unit of life.
So then groups of cells form tissues. But what's the key difference between a tissue and an organ?
Good question. So the tissue level is a group of similar cells working on one specific task, like epithelium covering a surface. But an organ, that's the next level up.
The organ level.
An organ is a structure made of different types of tissues. The stomach, for example, has epithelial tissue, muscle tissue, connective tissue, all working together for a much bigger function.
Which then leads us to the top, the system level.
Exactly. A group of organs working together, the digestive system, circulatory system, and so on.
You can almost think of it like building a house.
That's a great analogy. If cells and tissues are the bricks and mortar, then organs are the walls and the roof.
And the systems are things like the plumbing and the electrical wiring. It's an integrated structure.
It is. And the ultimate purpose of all of it, of all these systems working together, is to maintain a perfect internal balance.
The genius of homeostasis.
Homeostasis is, it's one of the most important concepts in all of physiology. It's the body actively maintaining a stable internal environment despite everything changing on the outside.
An automatic fine-tuning?
That's exactly it. It's constantly adjusting water, pH, oxygen, heat, keeping them all within very, very narrow limits.
What's a good clinical example of that self-correction in action?
The regulation of blood sugar is a classic. The body uses insulin and glucagon. Or think about body temperature. If you get too hot, you sweat.
If you get cold, you shiver.
Both are immediate homeostatic adjustments. And all that work requires energy. We call the son of all that chemical work metabolism.
And metabolism has two sides to it.
It does. Metabolism is the process of breaking things down, which releases energy.
Like glycogen into glucose.
Right. And anabolism is the opposite. It's building things up, like synthesizing proteins from amino acids, and that requires energy. It's a constant balancing act.
And at the heart of all this, the cell needs its instructions. Which brings us back to the blueprint, to DNA.
DNA holds the blueprint, yeah. It's tucked away in the cell nucleus. And during mitosis, that's cell division for growth and repair, that DNA gets passed on, ensuring the new cells are perfect copies.
Now, for a cell to do all this work, it needs to get things in and out across its membrane.
The semi-permeable membrane, yes. And how it does this is critical for survival. We rely on 4 main mechanisms. The simplest is diffusion.
High concentration to low
It's
concentration.
just passive movement, like oxygen moving into a cell. No energy needed.
And how is that different from osmosis? They sound similar.
Osmosis is a special kind of diffusion, but it's only about the movement of water. Water moves across the membrane to try and balance out the concentration of other chemicals.
Okay, so it's driven by the need to dilute things.
Precisely. Then we have mechanisms that require more effort.
Like active transport.
Yes, this process needs cellular energy, ATP, to move substances against their concentration gradient.
So pushing things uphill, basically.
An excellent way to put it. Pumping ions for nerve impulses is a key example. And finally, there's filtration, which uses pressure differences to push fluids and solutes across a barrier.
Like in the kidneys.
The kidneys are the perfect example of filtration at work.
All right, let's make a big transition. From the microscopic world to the body's largest organ system. The integumentary system, the skin.
Our protective shield.
If we use the mnemonic SHAPES VM, what are the key functions the skin is performing for us?
It's a real multitasker. SHAPES VM stands for sensitivity, heat regulation, absorption, protection, excretion, storage, vitamin D production, and melanin formation. 8 critical jobs.
Let's just pull on a couple of those threads. Heat regulation, for example. How does the skin work like a thermostat?
It's brilliant, really. It uses its capillaries. If your body needs to hold on to heat, those tiny blood vessels constrict, keeping warm blood near your core.
And if you're too warm?
They dilate. They open up, bringing warm blood closer to the surface to release heat. That, combined with sweating, is incredibly effective.
And the skin's role in vitamin D synthesis is a huge game changer for our bones.
It absolutely is. When UV light from the sun hits the skin, it converts a type of cholesterol into a precursor for vitamin D. And we need vitamin D to absorb calcium and phosphorus. No vitamin D, no strong bones. It's that simple.
Let's get into the structure. What are the 3 layers that make up the shield?
Okay, so the outermost layer is the epidermis. It's the thinnest, but its thickness varies a lot. On your eyelids, it's paper thin.
But on the soles of your feet?
It's over 1 millimeter thick. The thickness is directly related to the amount of protection that area needs.
And just below that is the powerhouse layer, the dermis.
That's the one. It's thicker, and it provides the skin strength and elasticity. And crucially, the dermis is packed with these water-binding molecules called GAGs, glycosaminoglycans.
Hyaluronic acid is a famous one.
The most famous one. These GAGs hold on to water like a sponge, which is what gives skin its plumpness and resilience. Losing them is a primary sign of aging.
And then underneath it all, we have our insulation.
That's the subcutaneous layer, or hypodermis. It's mostly fatty tissue. It insulates us, cushions us from impact, and it's a major storage depot for fat and water.
The skin isn't static, though. It's constantly renewing itself. Walk us through that four-stage cycle.
It's a continuous process. Stage 1 happens deep down in the stratum germinativum. That's where stem cells divide through mitosis.
Creating new cells.
New cells, which then get pushed upward. In stage 2, they mature and enter the stratum spinosum. This is where keratinization begins. They start producing that tough protein, keratin.
And the final stages are basically about dying and getting ready to be shed.
That's a good way to put it. In stage 3, the cells flatten, die, and finish keratinizing, forming a water barrier. And stage 4 is desquamation. The dead cells, now called corneocytes, get sloughed off from the surface.
And that whole cycle replaces our outer skin every month or so.
Roughly every 4 weeks, yes.
So what happens when that shield is breached? When we get injured? The body has this incredible defense mechanism for wound repair.
A very specific sequential process. There are 4 phases. Phase 1 is homeostasis, and it's almost immediate. Platelets form a sticky plug and start the clotting process to stop the bleeding.
Okay, bleeding stopped. What's next?
Phase 2 is inflammation. This lasts about 3 days. It's the cleanup crew. White blood cells arrive to clear out bacteria and debris, and the clot hardens into a scab.
Then we rebuild.
That's phase 3, proliferation, which can last for weeks. This is where fibroblasts lay down new collagen, new blood vessels grow, and the wound starts to contract.
And the final phase, maturation, can take a really long time.
A very long time. Phase 4, maturation can take up to a year. This is remodeling. The initial messy collagen is replaced with stronger, more organized collagen.
And that's what forms scar tissue.
That's exactly what scar tissue is. It's structurally different, less flexible than the original skin.
Okay, let's apply all this to clinical observation. Skin type is mostly genetic, right? Based on sebum production.
Largely genetic, yes. We classify 5 main types. Normal skin is actually quite rare. That has that perfect oil and water balance.
More common is dry skin.
Very common. It lacks sebum, so it's thin, maybe a bit papery, with small pores. The goal there is always replacing moisture and oil.
And on the other end of the spectrum,
Oily skin. This is hereditary. And overproduction of sebum. You'll see larger, more noticeable pores. But here's an interesting insight.
what's that?
Oily skin tends to age the least prematurely. That extra oil acts as a natural barrier, protecting it from water loss and environmental damage.
I've heard that. And the last type is sensitive skin.
Yes. Sensitive skin is often thin, kind of translucent, and you can see the capillaries easily, giving it a pinkish tone. It reacts very quickly to external factors because its protective barrier is just more easily compromised.
So connecting all this back, what does this mean for our overall health? The skin is often the first place we see signs of internal problems.
Oh, absolutely. Internal factors have a huge effect. Your diet is crucial. You need vitamins A, B, C, and E for repair and protection. Hydration is non-negotiable. The skin is 70% water.
And sleep.
We cannot overstate the importance of sleep. That's when the body does most of its repair work. Sleep is the skin's essential regenerator.
So finally, let's touch on a few common pathologies that learners will definitely encounter.
A classic is acne. It's a chronic inflammatory disorder. You get excess sebum, blockages, and then an anaerobic bacteria called Propionibacterium acnes thrives in that oxygen-free environment.
And those blockages, comedones, people often misunderstand them.
They do. A blackhead isn't dirt. That dark color is just the melanin and oil oxidizing when it's exposed to the air.
And a whitehead is just covered by skin so it doesn't oxidize.
You've got it. We also see immune issues, like allergic reactions. The body overreacts to an allergen and produces histamine.
Which can range from mild hives to
life-threatening anaphylactic shock.
Yeah.
And of course, viral infections like herpes simplex cold sores, which can be reactivated by stress or illness.
Which leads to a really crucial point for anyone studying or practicing in this field.
Yes, a point of professional caution. If you see any sign of an infectious skin condition, bacterial, viral, whatever, no treatment should be carried out. Not until it's been cleared by a physician. The risk of cross-infection is just too high.
A very important takeaway. Well, that brings us to the end of a really rapid, detailed deep dive. We've covered the anatomical map, cellular organization, homeostasis, and the skin's functions and healing.
We have. And we've seen how everything is connected. Think about it. The skin, our outer shield, is also an extension of our nervous system. It's full of sensory receptors.
Right.
So consider how the sense of touch, most sensitive on our fingertips, lips, and tongue, connects that outer boundary of our world directly to our core systems. It links us instantly to our environment.
A truly profound connection. Now, to reinforce what you've learned before you continue your studies, here's a quick review question.
The process by which the body maintains a stable internal environment for its cells and tissues is called A, metabolism, B, homeostasis, C, anatomy, or D, cytology.
And the correct answer, a concept that is absolutely central to all of physiology, is B, homeostasis. Thank you for joining us for this deep dive. We hope you apply this foundational knowledge as you continue to explore the incredible intricacies of the human body.